Thoughts are simply sentences in your head. They are not facts, and they don't determine the outcome of your life. Hi everyone, I'm Savanna, and this is Mental Mondays with Savanna, a motivating, mental cleansing, and energy boosting podcast. I focus on how one can improve their mental health while helping you build a better mindset, better habits, and a better life for yourself. I'm a 15-year-old CEO, a passionate storyteller, and an optimistic dreamer who views the world through a different set of lenses. I came on here to share that unique view with you. My biggest hope is that my videos ignite a spark in you to seek your highest potential and so that you can live a life without limits. Let's dive into it. Hey y'all, it's Monday, aka your favorite day of the week, because Mental Mondays with Savanna is back. We are back, everyone, and I'm just so excited to be on here, share my voice, and I've actually been really happy lately because I just finished school. Well, at the time that I'm recording this, I just finished school. It is the 8th of June right now, and I finished my last finals on Friday, on the 4th. So I'm really happy. I'm going to be a junior in high school, an upperclasswoman, and that's really exciting. So I've been really happy about that. And also, I haven't recorded a podcast episode in a while. It's been a couple weeks because usually I would record them for I record a lot at one time, but I had to stop because of finals and I had to stop for a couple weeks. So I'm back. And I'm excited to be on here. That's just my little life update. But in all seriousness, I'm really happy to be back. And I cannot wait for you guys to see the upcoming topics that I have planned. It's really exciting. And we're going to get spicy this season. So get ready for a roller coaster of different topics and emotions. So before we begin this episode, like always, please give a rating down below wherever you're listening on. It'll only take about 1 to 2 minutes so that we can reach this podcast out to other people. Now let's get started. So today's topic is being stronger than your fears, bolder than your insecurities. Now, in the past couple episodes, fear has been a constant topic that I've touched on. And we've talked about how fear is treated as a safety net and often protects us from both good and bad change, since our brains can't really make out the difference between the two. But in today's episode, we are going to expand more about what that specific fear is and how you can fight back fear once and for all, not letting it control your circumstances at all. Now, here's the deal. Fear is a very powerful emotion, but if it's left unchecked, it can overpower your life, keeping you from doing the very things that would help you progress your life even further. We mentioned this in the past episodes about how it prevents us from growing and reaching our full potential. And the numbers don't lie. The majority of us live in fear rather than living for the change we seek in this world. And I'll say that one more time. The majority of us live in fear rather than living for the change that we all seek in this world. But here's the thing. Having fear is actually natural. It's what makes us human. We usually fear things that might happen in the future. But I found that most of these fears are unnecessary, they're baseless, and they're holding us back from achieving something. Letting fear stop you from going after your dreams, or standing up for what you believe in, or simply living life is a tragedy. Pew Research Center did a study and found what American people mostly fear in their everyday life. This list includes failure, abandonment and rejection, intimacy, success, being broke, and not being good enough. And I think the last one, not being good enough, is actually at the root of all others. We fear that we'll fail because we aren't good enough. We fear that we'll lose our relationships, that we'll be abandoned and rejected because we aren't good enough. We fear intimacy for the very same reason. We might get rejected because we aren't good enough. Even the fear of success is based on the worry that we aren't good enough. I did this for most of my lifetime as well. I let the fear of not being good enough stop me from even trying, even daring to dream. It turned out that my fears were baseless, and I want you all to repeat after me because most of us struggle from the same battle of self worth. So repeat after me. I am good enough. I'm not perfect, but who is? So when I was able to overcome this fear of not being good enough, this fear of failure and rejection, and put myself out there in the world, I succeeded. And I found out that I was good enough. And I'm not gonna lie, I still have this fear. Sometimes it'll just peek out at me and be like, hey, but I wouldn't be human if I didn't. Even the most successful people, I promise you, like Barack Obama or Steve Jobs or Paul McCartney, they all still have this fear, even if they don't show it, but they don't let it hold them back. How can you do this? Let's look into it. Now, during the times when fear runs most rampant, those who are able to rein in it and take decisive action in its presence will receive amazing opportunities amidst the uncertainty and reap the greatest rewards. History doesn't remember what people hid from. History remembers what people persevered through and fought against, including fear. What if Martin Luther King Jr. never stood up again after they bombed his house and after he was sent death threats? What if Rosa Parks complied with the police officer and went to the back of the bus? What if Oprah listened to all her haters and let that fear of not being good enough bombard her, stepping down from her TV station? Well, you might be saying, well, Savanna, I'm not on the same level as these people are. They all did amazing things for society, but I'm just a normal person. Well, guess what? I want you to take a rain check and realize that you have the power to make an impact too. Your small and consistent actions have the possibility of becoming amazing and big changes. Think of it like the snowball effect. Little by little, stuff adds up, and your courage and strength can actually inspire others to stand up for what they believe in as well. When looking back through history, we tend to impose this superhuman status to those who stood up for their beliefs in a revolutionary way. For some of them, the decision to act was just a conscious effort to defy the status quo. For others, they were simply in the right place at the wrong time and found themselves acting because others lacked the courage to speak out. Of course, we should rightly remember these people and what they did for society. But we should also remember that they were ordinary human beings who made a choice. They made a choice to not let fear control their lives. And just like them, the rest of us have the opportunity to choose to engage in creating a better world for ourselves. In short, we can be revolutionary every single day. But the first step to that is not letting fear take over your decisions. So, how do you do that exactly? The first step that I have for you is to acknowledge when you are holding yourself back due to the fears that you are putting in place. Now, this is a huge first step, and you must do this if you want to live life to the fullest and to the greatest of your potential. If you just do this today, you've already done something great. Many of us, we have these fears, but they're in the back of our mind, unnoticed, unacknowledged, and because we try to ignore them and we pretend that they aren't there. But this small mistake actually tends to let that fear start controlling our lives because we try to ignore it. And they affect us every single day in our lives. So acknowledge the fear. Step 2 and tip number 2 is to write your fear on a piece of paper. Writing it down not only acknowledges that you have it, but it externalizes the fear. It takes the fear from a dark place in the back of your mind, where it has the power over you, into the light of day, outside of you, where you have the power over the fear. Take control over it by writing it down. Whenever I do this, I feel like it's outside of me and I can do something about it now. Sometimes I would just crumple it up and stomp on it to physically remind me that I'm the one who's in charge, not my fears. 3 is to ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Often it's not as bad as we think. Do you fear that you're failing in your new career? What would happen if you did? You'd get another job. You'd move on. You would live. Do you fear being broke? What would happen if you were? You would cut back on your expenses, maybe ask your families or your friends to help you out a bit. You would still find a way to make money. You would live. Do you fear failing after you took that risk? You would learn from your mistake, and in the end, you would end up stronger and better than you were before. You would grow from that moment, and you would move on. You would live. And my fourth and final tip is to just do it. To repeat, feel the fear and do it anyways. To beat the fear, sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes we should just act more and think less. Like when you want to jump off the diving board into a swimming pool. You don't second guess it, you just jump. It's an exhilarating feeling, and so many opportunities will come as a result, even if you do end up failing. We always get caught up in worrying about what might happen. Instead, get rid of all the thoughts of the future. Banish even thoughts of past mistakes and failures. Focus on right now. Do something right now to beat your fears and to pursue your dreams and forget about what might happen. Just do it now in the moment. When you find yourself worrying about your future, bring yourself back into the moment and focus on what you're doing at this moment. One example I have of this is actually this podcast. I was always waiting for the perfect time for me to be ready until I started this podcast and released it. But in all honesty, I was just afraid. I was afraid about what might happen. I was thinking about the future. But one day, I was just motivated after hearing other people's podcasts. I was like, I can do that too. So I just decided to do it. I jumped off that diving board and I landed right into the water. And I gotta say, I just felt so powerful because knowing that my voice could help others improve as well, it made me it made me feel important, like that I was good enough. I had that fear that, oh, I don't think my voice is going to be good enough, or I don't think that I will have the right thing to say, but in the end I did. And look at me now, I'm on my 4th episode and there's so many people supporting me and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. So I just did it. And the quote of the day is from my girl, Miss Michelle Obama. She says, don't ever make decisions based on fear. Make decisions based on hope and possibility. Make decisions based on what should happen, not what shouldn't. End quote. She always be saying the most important things that we all need and just be blessing us with those quotes. So the most important lesson to take away from this episode is that you shouldn't let your fear control your life and your everyday circumstances. Adopt this mentality by 1, acknowledging and realizing your fears and when you are holding back in your thinking. 2, write your fears out on a piece of paper. 3, ask yourself, what's the worst that could possibly happen? And 4, just do it. Remember, thoughts are simply sentences in your head. They are not facts and they do not determine the outcome of your life. So don't give meaning to those anxious thoughts or fixate on them. Just do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. You just listened to Mental Mondays with Savanna. Make sure you click the subscribe button to receive more positivity every Monday and join the fam. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next week.